Chapter 1207. Everyone was fully focused at that moment. Seymour's death ray was undoubtedly powerful. That was because the spell could ignore the victim's level and had a 70% fatality rate. It was a spell that no cultivator could ignore. They really wanted to know how Wilbur would deal with it, and if there would be any surprises. However, it did not seem likely. Even Eileen had a look of worry on her face. Her hands were clenched tightly, and there was a faint spiritual glow around her body. The death ray was definitely powerful. Even Wilbur could not completely ignore that spell. Yet, just as Seymour pulled the trigger, Wilbur activated the dragon safe haven. A dazzling array of lights suddenly surrounded Wilbur. The death ray struck the light soundlessly and disappeared without a trace. Wilbur held his sword with one hand, standing in the light as he coldly looked at Seymour. Seymour was shocked. His sniper fell to the ground with a clank. He could not understand what the light around Wilbur was to be able to absorb the death ray that could ignore any levels without a trace. Was ignoring levels useless on Wilbur? Ferris widened his eyes in disbelief as well. Wilbur actually had the power to nullify the death ray. Was that not absurd? The crowd was filled with even more disbelief. They had thought of many potential outcomes, but none of them had expected Wilbur to just block the death ray so easily. It was like he was just having a meal. Eileen smiled slightly as she breathed a sigh of relief. Only Wilbur himself knew what happened. The death ray could ignore levels, but only within a certain threshold. In front of a divine skill like Dragon's Safe Haven, it would have no effect at all. That was because the Dragon's Safe Haven was far greater than the death ray in terms of level differences. It had completely outclassed the death ray. It was only natural that there would not be any effects. Everyone was stunned because they did not understand how Wilbur could have such extraordinary power. The next minute, the Dragon's Safe Haven's effects disappeared, and Wilbur regained the ability to move. He looked at Seymour and said slowly, "If you have any other weapons, it's time to take them out." Seymour clenched his teeth, and his expression darkened drastically. He did not have anything he could bring out anymore. He never expected that anyone could stand up to the death ray. Then Wilbur spoke. "I guess that's all you have. It is my turn now. Braum, save me," Seymour shouted, hiding behind Braum. Braum remained seated as he said seriously, "I already told you. This had nothing to do with me. I wasn't part of any of the decisions, but we're part of the same organization. My loss is your loss," Seymour shouted. Braum frowned. "Sorry, but I won't take part in this. Braum, I know you haven't taken part in this matter from the start, and he won't do anything to you. Just step aside," Eileen said. Braum sighed and stood aside. "I tried to tell all of you, but no one would listen to me." Seymour's face was drained of all colors and immediately looked over at Ferris. This time, Wilbur said coldly, "Ferris, you've schemed to kill me multiple times. Don't blame me for what I'm going to do now." As he spoke, Wilbur's body surged with spiritual flames. A shocking spiritual pressure started to envelop the plaza. The crowd below had a sudden change in expression, and all of them started to tremble. In particular, Joanna and the others had looks of utter shock on their faces.